Why success never feels enough. You finally get what you wanted. The promotion, the money, the recognition, the thing you once thought would change everything. And for a moment, it does. You feel proud, relieved. You think, I made it. Then the feeling fades. What once felt extraordinary becomes normal. And almost immediately, your mind starts searching again. Another goal, another number, someone doing better than you. And the quiet voice returns. Not enough yet. Most people call this ambition. But what if part of ambition is something older? What if an ancient survival system is still pushing you to keep moving? Because for most of human history, falling behind could be dangerous. If you don't understand that system, you can spend your entire life succeeding without ever experiencing success. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your brain keeps moving the definition of enough and how to stay ambitious without letting the next achievement decide your worth. The human mind was not built to give us a permanent feeling of arrival. Imagine an ancestor living in an unstable world. Food is available today, but tomorrow it may disappear. The group is safe today, but alliances can change. In that environment, a motivational system that completely switched off after one success would not be very useful. A mind that kept noticing the next shortage, threat, opportunity, or social advantage could keep its owner moving. Permanent satisfaction was never necessarily the goal. Continued motivation was. That old system still exists, but the environment around it has changed. And that's where the trouble begins. Our ancestors lived in a world with natural limits. They knew a relatively small number of people. Their status competition existed mostly inside a local group. Today, you can compare yourself with thousands of people before breakfast. Someone younger is richer. Someone has a better career, a better body, a bigger company, a more impressive life. Your brain doesn't naturally respond. This is a highly selective sample from billions of people. It responds much more simply. They are ahead. And humans don't judge success only by what we have. We also judge it by what other people have. You can double your income and feel successful, then enter a room where everyone earns 5 times more. Nothing about your achievement changed. Only the reference point changed. Yet suddenly, success feels smaller. That's one of the traps of success. As you climb higher, the people you compare yourself with often climb higher too. The ladder doesn't disappear. It introduces you to taller ladders. So ask yourself something uncomfortable. How much of what you want would you still want if nobody could see it? The title, the house, the award, the followers, the expensive object. Would you want it exactly as much if it were invisible? Sometimes the answer is yes. Good. But sometimes the answer is no. And that tells you something important. Maybe you don't only want the thing. Maybe you want what the thing proves. But comparison is only part of the problem. Even if everyone else disappeared, your brain would still do something strange. It adapts. Think of something you once desperately wanted. A job, a degree, a relationship, a certain income, a home. There was probably a time when you thought, if I get this, life will finally feel different. And it did, for a while. Then it became normal. This is one of the reasons success fades so quickly. Success becomes normal. Normal becomes invisible. And invisible stops feeling like success. Before the goal, if I can just get there. After the goal, I did it. Later, what next? The achievement changed your life, but your brain changed the baseline. Try this. Think of something you have today that the version of you from 10 years ago would have considered success. Don't ask, why am I not more grateful? Ask, when did this become invisible to me?
your brain automatically notices the distance between where you are and where you want to go. It does not automatically remind you how far you've already come. One creates ambition. The other creates perspective. You need both. But there is a deeper layer. Success doesn't only change what you have. Eventually, it can change who you believe you are. At first, you succeed at something. Then you become the successful person, the smart one, the productive one, the respected one. And now success has another job. You're no longer simply trying to gain something. You're trying not to lose an identity. This is where ambition can quietly change. You think, I want more. But underneath, it may be, I cannot afford to become less successful, less respected, less exceptional, maybe even ordinary. And suddenly, you're not only running toward success, you may be running from the shame of becoming ordinary. That's a very different kind of motivation.
This explains something strange about highly driven people. Sometimes rest doesn't feel peaceful. It feels uncomfortable. Because when you're no longer producing, improving, winning, or achieving, you are left with a difficult question. Who am I when I'm not proving myself? At that point, achievement is no longer just a goal. It has become emotional protection. And success can actually make this worse. The more successful you become, the more identity you may attach to success. Then failure changes meaning. It no longer means I didn't get what I wanted. It begins to mean maybe I'm not who I thought I was. So you push harder. Not always because the next achievement matters more, but because stopping feels more dangerous. And this creates the real treadmill. The more you use success to prove your worth, the more success you need to keep proving it. Adaptation resets the feeling. Comparison moves the target. Identity raises the stakes. No achievement can permanently solve that problem. This does not mean ambition is bad. Ambition helps us build, learn, create, compete, and improve. The goal is not to stop wanting more. The goal is to stop asking achievement to do something it cannot reliably do. Prove that you are finally enough. Because once success has to prove your worth, every achievement gets an impossible job. The promotion has to prove you matter. The money has to prove you matter. The audience has to prove you matter. And when the feeling fades, you need another achievement. Then another. Then another. So how do you stay ambitious without becoming trapped by ambition? Ask 3 questions. 1. Do I want this? Or do I want what it proves? There is a difference between wanting money for freedom and wanting money to prove you won. Between wanting mastery and needing applause. The goal may look the same from the outside, but psychologically, they are very different. 2. If nobody knew I achieved this, would I still want it? There is no correct answer. Humans are social creatures. Recognition matters. Status matters. But the question reveals what is driving you. Do you want the experience or the signal? Knowing the difference gives you more control. 3. What do I already have that my past self once called success? Your brain will show you the next gap automatically. Sometimes you need to turn around and notice the gaps you already crossed. Not to stop climbing, just to remember that you have climbed. And modern life requires one more skill: creating your own stopping point. Because your ancient brain now lives in a world with an infinite ladder. More money, more followers, more productivity, more status, more experiences. There is always another level. If the ladder has no top, then reaching the top cannot be your strategy for peace. Sometimes you have to decide, this is enough for today.
Not enough forever. Not the end of ambition. Just enough for today. Now go back to the beginning. You finally get what you wanted. The promotion, the money, the recognition. The feeling fades. Another goal appears, and the old voice returns. Not yet. More. Then you'll finally be enough. But now you can hear that voice differently. You know that success becomes normal. You know comparison moves the reference point. And you know ambition can slowly turn into identity protection. So instead of automatically asking, what's next? Ask something more important. Why do I want what's next? Do I truly want it? Do I want what it proves? Or am I afraid of who I might be without the chase? There is nothing wrong with climbing. But if you don't know why you're climbing, you can spend your entire life moving upward and still feel as if you've never arrived. Success may never automatically tell you that you have enough. That may be a decision your brain cannot make for you. And success is only one example. The same ancient mind can make silence feel threatening, peace feel uncomfortable, one rejection feel more important than 100 moments of acceptance. We live in a modern world with a mind shaped for a very different one. And once you start seeing that mismatch, a surprising amount of human behavior begins to make sense.